Let me ask you something. Have you ever stood in your backyard, looked around, and thought, where do I even begin? You want to grow your own food. Maybe you want to raise chickens or harvest rainwater. You want to set up a backup power system. But before you can even start, you're already drowning in information. There's so many voices telling you what to do first, what to buy, what you absolutely must have, and it can be paralyzing. If that's you, I want you to know I've been there before. So let's talk about solutions in this video. If you're new to this channel, my name is Chris, and on this channel we discuss emergency preparedness, aka prepping. Every week here on the channel, I cover news and trends that help you make better decisions. But as important as knowing what's going on in the world is knowing what to do about it. That's why I make these videos like this one, because I don't want to just point out the problems. I want to help you take meaningful action. For me, the antidote to fear has been to do something, taking action, building systems, making progress. And that's what has given me peace of mind, knowing that my family could take care of ourselves no matter what may happen. When I first got into preparedness and self-sufficiency, I didn't have a grand plan. I didn't have a blueprint or a background in gardening. I didn't even know really what I was doing. And I was just a guy trying to figure out how to make my home more resilient and to ensure that my family could weather any storm, whether that be a disaster, an economic downturn, or any other series of events that could impact us directly. And I've lived in nations, and I've seen firsthand what can happen when a nation goes through extreme events and eventually collapses. And to be honest, when I first got serious about preparedness, to say I was overwhelmed would be an understatement. But instead of just doing nothing, I took small steps. The first thing I built was a simple square foot garden, and that was it. There was a few boards, some soil, and a handful of seeds, and I didn't know exactly what I was doing, and I didn't know if anything would even grow, but I did take action, and it ended up working out. I started to see success, and it gave me a little momentum. Next, I grabbed a few plastic buckets and planted herbs and small veggies in a garden. Really nothing that complicated, just cheap containers of soil. And I was surprised how much I could grow with so little effort. Then I set up a rain harvesting system using an IBC tote that I found on Craigslist. I plumbed it into the gutter system on the side of my house, and it wasn't anything fancy, but it did catch water. And for the first time, I realized I could start building real systems right there in a suburban backyard. And that was really the beginning for me. From there, I added chickens. I learned how to dehydrate food. I started preserving harvest. I experimented. I failed. I learned. And look, all this was not done overnight. It did take time and a lot of mistakes and trials and error. But over the years, I've built up real skills. And more importantly, I've developed confidence. Now, here I am starting again at a new property. I'm starting from scratch with just 3,000 square feet. That's about half the average size of the American backyard. And because of everything I've learned leading up to this point, it's easier now starting over. Not because I'm an expert, because I've already walked this road once before. I know what to prioritize. I know what can wait. I know what works and what doesn't. And that's what I want to give you today. Permission and encouragement to start small, to take one step and to build momentum. And while things are unstable in the world, we can build stability in our home in the dirt under our feet. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, you feel stuck or confused, my encouragement is take a breath. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to build an off-grid utopia overnight. You just need to do the next right thing. And if you don't know what that is yet, that's okay. In a course that I'm going to be launching soon, I'm going to walk you through the exact order I would do things if I had to start over completely. And I'm actually starting over completely and walking through those steps. I'm going to show you what to prioritize, what to delay, how to work within your budget, and how to get results without spinning your wheels. I'll talk more about that in just a moment, so be sure to stick around. But for now, I want to address another fear that I hear all the time, and maybe this one sounds familiar. I want to do this, I just don't have the skills. That one hits home for a lot of people. And I want to tell you something that might surprise you. I didn't either. When I started, I didn't grow up farming. I didn't know how to build a coop. I didn't have a background in construction. I didn't even understand soil amendments or drip irrigation or pest control, but I didn't let that stop me. I figured it out one step at a time. And yes, I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, but here's the truth. Building systems to become self-sufficient is not about being perfect. It's about being willing to try, to learn, and to keep going even when you mess up. A good friend of mine who's been gardening for years once told me, all you need is soil, water, and sun. Everything else is extra. And that has really stuck with me. And whenever I feel overwhelmed, I come back to that. Because at the end of the day, we don't need perfection. We just need progress. And there were plenty of times that I felt totally out of my depth. I remember raising chickens years ago in a neighborhood with an HOA, and probably not my smartest decision, but I wanted fresh eggs and a little more independence. And so what I did is I built a coop, I got some hens, and I figured out that I could try to keep it discreet. Well, I didn't cover the run with netting. So in the evening, the chickens would hop up on the fence and start walking around the fence line like they were on parade. And it didn't take long before the HOA got wind of it. So I had to scramble, literally, to fix it. I ended up adding some netting. I reconfigured the coop and started handing out fresh eggs to my nearest neighbors. So essentially, I bought their silence. Crisis averted. But the lesson was learned. Another time, I let the chickens free range in the backyard, and it seemed like a great idea until they started pooping all over the patio furniture and digging holes in the landscaping and the garden beds. And we were at a party during the day, and when we got home, my wife saw the state of the patio furniture covered in poop, and well, let's just say she was not happy about it. And I have a very, very patient wife. Eventually, I had to fence off certain areas and set boundaries for where they could go. But again, I didn't quit. I just adjusted. And that's the heart of this journey. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to hit roadblocks. But those experiences are your greatest teachers. Every time you fail, you learn something. Every time you fix a problem, you build resilience. And you don't need to be an expert. You just need to be willing to start. Start with one garden bed, one rain barrel, one simple project that builds your confidence. Because once you get that first win, it becomes easier to take the next step, and the next, and the next. But the truth is, self-sufficiency isn't some giant mountain that you climb all at once. It's a trail that you walk one step at a time. And with every step, you become more capable, more confident, and more resilient. Some of the greatest experiences for me have been learned through my mistakes. Whether your first win is growing herbs in pots on your patio or storing water in a couple of barrels or setting up a small compost bin, it doesn't have to be flashy. It just has to be something. And that's where most people go wrong. They wait until they have all the money, all the tools, all the knowledge, and then they never start. But what if you just took action now with what you have? What if you gave yourself permission to be a beginner? What if you embraced the learning curve instead of running from it? What you would find is that progress comes faster than you think. The skills come, the systems come, and before long, you're going to look back and realize that you've built something powerful. Not because you had it all figured out, but because you're willing to take the first step. So whether you've got a sprawling yard or a small patio, whether you've been prepping for years or just now thinking about food security, you can do this. Again, the world has plenty of uncertainty in it at the moment, but you can take back control one step at a time. Here's the truth. You don't have to live in the middle of nowhere. You don't need acres of land. I spoke about that exhaustively in last week's video, which I would encourage you to go back and check out. You just need a plan, a few simple tools, and a willingness to get your hands dirty. And if you're looking for help building that plan, that's exactly why I created my upcoming course, which we'll be launching here pretty soon. It's called the Urban Homestead, and we're going to be launching it soon. In this course, I'm going to walk you step by step through how to set up a resilient, productive, and self-sufficient system in the space that you have. We're going to cover growing food in small spaces, setting up raised bed gardens, collecting and storing rainwater, raising chickens for eggs and compost, building a simple composting system, food preservation basics, emergency power with solar systems, and a whole lot more. You're going to get real examples, clear timelines, and practical advice based on years of experience. I've got a team that's behind me, and they bring a lot of knowledge and skill as well in their journey of gardening. We're going to show you the mistakes that I've made, what I would do differently, and how you can avoid the common traps and pitfalls that slow people down. So whether you have a 3,000 square foot backyard like the one that we're developing now, or just a patio or balcony or acres, you're going to walk away with a blueprint that works for your situation. If you want to be notified when the course goes live, just sign up for our email through the link I'll post in the description and comments section below. We're going to send you an alert when the course opens up. And as a thank you, we're going to send a special bonus for early subscribers. This is your chance to take control, to stop waiting for things to get worse, to build systems now that can give you freedom, peace of mind, and resilience later. My encouragement to you is this: start small, learn as you go, and grow your confidence, and know that you're not doing it alone. We're building something together one step at a time. I always enjoy hearing your thoughts and feedback, so feel free to post that below. And as always, stay safe out there.